We're now live?
Yes.
Okay, thank you guys. Thank you for being patient. I'm just gonna give them a couple of minutes to sign on because they've been ready for a little bit. Earl did a test run and we posted that. We took a picture. We posted that. Earl, let me know. What is it? You see people on?
Oh, I'm the producer for real, for real. Biggs from Black City checked in.
Okay. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to Sugar Cypher. We were supposed to interview back in August?
June.
It was June?
June.
That far?
That
Wow. We were supposed to interview back in June. And we had to cancel, unfortunately. And now we finally got together.
Yeah.
It's now November. Bike season is over. And I know that most of you guys know Rock from the 5Boroughs Abate President. But just for those who are on Sugar Cypher and don't know him, I'll let him introduce himself.
Okay, well, my name is Michael Whetstone. They call me Rock. That's my tag. And I am the president of Abate, New York, 5Boroughs chapter. And it is an organization that is nationwide in about 38, 39 states in the United States.
All right. And what is Abate, for those that don't know?
Is an acronym. The letters stand for American Bikers Aimed Toward Education.
Okay. And how did Abate come about? And since when?
Abate came about 1971.
Okay.
Where a group of bikers decided that they wanted to start a magazine. And in starting a magazine, they did, and it was called National, as a matter of fact, let me just look at my notes, because I don't remember everything. It was called National Custom Cycle Association.
Okay.
And a few years later, they changed it to Abate. Now, let me tell you what it used to be.
Okay.
It used to be a brotherhood against totalitarian enactment.
Okay.
So, and we are still against totalitarian enactment.
Okay.
You know, I say that because one of the incidents that happened right here at Steel Horses was a couple of years back. The police decided that they weren't going to allow us to do a fundraiser for one of the brothers who had gone down here at Steel Horses, and they quadrangled off, shut down 4 square blocks around the perimeter of Steel Horses. Parked police cars outside with no provocation whatsoever.
Okay. Okay. And how did, that made you guys stand up more strong together? Like, how did y'all work that?
Oh, definitely. It made us come together to the point where we called all the bikers that we knew. We called the politicians, the councilmen. We called Eric Adams, who is now mayor-elect. And all those people actually came to our aid to see about that situation and to deal with it. So it turned out really well for us.
Okay. So what are some of the other things? You mentioned Still Horses, and that's where we are tonight, guys. We're streaming live from Still Horses. Shout out to Still Horses. Thank you so much for having us. What are some other things that you guys worked on as Abate?
Well, as Abate, let me just say this first of all. A lot of people ask me this question. They say, what has Abate done for us as far as bikers are concerned?
Okay.
Well, I can tell you a lot about what Abate has done, but let me just say this first. Abate can't do anything without the bikers of New York City.
Okay.
Because politicians, law enforcement, the powers that be, whatever you want to call them, do not respect us as individuals. So unless we come together united with a united front, then we have no say-so whatever. This is why we're targeted. This is why we're picked on. Because of that very fact. Most of us don't come together. And what Abate here in New York is 5Boroughs chapter, because we used to be named Brooklyn Alliance.
Okay.
That's when we first started around about 12 years ago. But probably about 7 years ago or so, we changed it from Brooklyn Alliance to 5Boroughs chapter.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because a lot of people thought that we were only concerned about what happened in Brooklyn.
Okay.
We were not concerned about what happened in Brooklyn. We were concerned about what happened to all bikers throughout New York City.
And when you say bikers, you're not just talking about the bikers who are part of a motorcycle club. You're talking about independent riders. You're talking about anybody who rides a motorcycle.
Excuse me, anybody who rides a motorcycle. Well, let me just say this first. Abate throughout the country, Abate in New York, Abate 5 Boroughs, we are not, and I gotta say this to people, we're not a motorcycle club.
Okay.
See, what we are is a motorcycle rights organization.
Okay.
So we fight for the rights of bikers. It has to do with DOT, whether the streets are prepared properly. It has to do with ticketing. It has to do with motorcycle only checkpoint. It has to do with motorcycles being able to ride in the HOV lane.
Okay.
Staten Island has it.
And I see that on the Long Island Expressway. I just noticed that.
Just noticed it.
Where motorcyclists can ride on that lane. I just noticed that.
Well, let me tell you a secret that most bikers don't know. In these clubs, let me tell you what you don't know. You don't know that the federal law states that we can occupy the HOV lane. However, New York City had decided, now note what I said, had decided that they were not going to carry out the federal mandate. The federal and the state said, listen, motorcycles are vehicles that actually, fit that category of being able to ride in the HOV lane.
Right.
New York City said no, they're not, and they were handing out tickets. So one of the things that we've done in working with DOT and NYPD is that we have literally got a policy with them not to ticket us in the HOV lane.
Okay.
That's one of the accomplishments that we have been able to do in the past 3 years or so. Not only that, but we've been able to actually get at least one ticket completely expunged. That was the gentleman had gotten, who literally went to court. He went to the federal court, he went to the civil court, and everyone threw it out. So now we were able to get that ticket thrown out, and we were able now to get a policy instated in New York City Police Department that motorcyclists can ride in the HOV lane.
Now, does that mean that you have to be a member of Abate to even get that type of assistance, or do you help people who have that?
I am glad you asked that question. See, what most people don't realize, that whether you support bikers, motorcyclists, indies, clubs, whether you support Abate or not, you're going to reap the benefits of everything that Abate does.
Okay.
See, we're not doing this just for people who are Abate members. We're doing this for everyone who rides a motorcycle here in New York City, all 5 boroughs.
Okay. All right, I got that. So, what would you say to everybody who's watching, those that are a member or not? But why is it important to become a member of Abate?
Okay. Well, it's important to become a member of Abate. As I said, it's not so much what Abate can do for you, but it's what we can do together.
Okay.
See, together, if we go to our local representative's office, council member, senator, congressman, congresswoman, we go to the assembly person's office as one individual. They look at us and say, oh yes, oh great, oh that's nice.
Right.
That's what you want? Oh, that's very nice. Have a nice day. Now they don't tell you that straight out.
Right.
But if they know that we are a part of an organization that has 2,000 or 3,000 members, let me just say this, like our brothers in Long Island,
Right.
that's why you see the sign that says motorcycles are allowed in the HOV lane. Why? Because they go as a group that large, and when they talk to a politician, they know that when election time comes, that's going to be at least 3,000 votes that's going to go some other direction besides their family members. Because we always tell everybody, you don't have to ride a motorcycle to become a member of Abate.
Right. Right.
Tell your family members, tell your friends, become a member of Abate. You become a member of Abate, you don't have to ride, but you support everything that we do.
Right.
And our thing is to support and make sure that motorcycling is something that our children and our grandchildren can experience in the same way that we've experienced, but without harassment.
Right.
We've even had the opportunity a couple of years back to, after that Steelhawk incident, to have a protest ride. You know,
To Albany, right?
No, not to Albany. A
Oh.
protest ride right here in New York City.
Oh, okay.
We did a protest ride that left from here, went to 3 different precincts around the city, came back here and met with Nick Perry and Assemblywoman Latrice Walker.
Okay.
Okay, so we had a conference here, at a press conference here, to talk about the situation when we were, what could I say? We were, the Gestapo tactics
Okay.
were thrown on us, like, we're gonna lock you down and we don't care who you are, we don't care who you know. Well, that ended up not well for them. And it did, but why? Because we came together on a united front, and if we continue to do that, we can get somewhere. Unfortunately, the problem is that too many people think, what has Abate done for us? What has Abate done for me?
Okay.
Well, Abate, as I said already, can't do anything without you. That's something that people don't understand. Without you, you know, without your backing, let me just say this. One of the reasons we have been able to meet with DOT and NYPD is because we have at least around about 200 members. Now, there are other groups in the city that call themselves motorcycle advocates who we definitely invited to become not a part of Abate, but to work with Abate, because together we stand stronger. You can keep your name, you can keep your group, who cares?
Right.
You
But as
understand?
long as we make a difference.
But now,
together.
if we come together to make that difference, now we have a stronger footing. So there were a number of groups that had been writing to DOT, and they had gotten petitions up. They told me they got 2,000-3,000 people to sign those petitions. My wife, who is our legislative coordinator, all right, she had been writing to DOT, to NYPD, to our congressmen, because that's one of the things, to our senators, to our councilmen, council representatives, because that's one of the things that we do also.
Right.
We write letters and we meet with our local politicians to see what we can do legislatively, legally, by the law, to keep harassment off of our back.
Let me go back a little bit, because you mentioned Long Island, right? And I see the difference, because in Queens I don't see that. Well, it's not Queens, it's Nassau County when you start to see it. But what's different from the boroughs versus Long Island? I didn't know. We had a conversation shortly before you got here.
Okay.
I didn't know that there was a 5-borough Long Island.
No, there's not a 5-borough Long Island. Long Island Abate used to be a part of the state, New York City state Abate.
Okay.
They grew to numbers, like I said, I think they're somewhere around about 3,000 members strong. When I say 3,000 members strong, I don't mean they're 3,000 members that are on their roll. I mean 3,000 members that meet, 3,000 members that go see their congressmen, their senators, you understand? Those members do that, and because they do, when they have meetings, politicians show up to their meetings saying, what can we do for you? Because if we do for you, then that means you're going to make sure we stay in office.
Right.
And that's what politicians want. They want to be in office. But here it is with us. How are you going to say anything to a politician when you can't come to them with but more than 5 votes?
Right.
So who are you? There are other groups around that have their agenda, that are looking to do what they need to do in their community. But for us, it's difficult. With all of the clubs, with all the indies, we only have around about 200 plus members. And not much over 200.
And when you have meetings, because I know you've held meetings on Thursdays at different clubs, what are the numbers?
Oh Lord Jesus. Disappointed.
I mean, let's keep it real, because now
I'm gonna keep it real.
Yeah.
Definitely. We
because they should be ashamed of themselves. The ones that are riding and they're in the community heavy, they should be ashamed of themselves that they are not a member. I'm a member.
I know that.
I'm a member.
I totally.
And I try to encourage, who I can.
Yeah.
But I needed more, so I needed this. In order for me to go preach your gospel, Abate gospel, I needed more. So this is what I needed.
Well, we're gonna give you more. Listen.
Okay.
We had our first face-to-face meeting because of COVID since April of 2020. We had the first meeting at Corrupt Mob.
Yes.
Corrupt Mob, Steel Horses, kudos to them. whatever Abate 5 Boroughs do, they support 110%. No ifs, ands, or buts. Just like we're here tonight.
Right.
They open up their doors for this interview particularly.
Yes, they did.
All right?
Appreciate
So
so
kudos
much
to
for
them.
that.
And Corrupt Mob the same way. We had 10 people. And let me tell you, in order for us to have a meeting, we have to have a quorum of at least 5 Abate officers.
Right.
So we had 10 people.
Then the other 5.
Oh, okay.
I got it.
All right.
Look, I've been a part of the PTA and all this other stuff, so that I get.
But let me say this: what we have been having since April of 2020 is we've been having Zoom meetings. You know, and unfortunately, even with the Zoom meetings, we may get 20 people who will come on. Although there is at least 9 or 10 clubs that have made Abate mandatory, Steel Horses being one, Corrupt Mob being another, and excuse me if I don't mention everybody, all right? But even with that, you know, with all the members, we, even on Zoom, would not do more than 20 people in attendance. And let me tell you how important that is. I had a guy call me up, and I'm not even gonna say who he is, what club he belongs to, but he had an accident. The politicians don't like that word anymore, accident. They like crash.
Okay.
So he had an accident. He had a crash, and he said that I'm not getting any money. I don't have any. You know, I can't go to work. You understand? And whatever his situation was, whatever his case was, he said that I'm not getting any money. What can I do about this? I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, do you have supplemental underinsured motorists on your insurance? He says, no, what's that? So how many people know what supplemental uninsured motorist is?
Not a lot.
Well, let me tell you what it is. What it is this. In New York City, we are under a no-fault clause. So if something happens to you, if you don't have insurance to take care of you, you are up the creek without a paddle.
Right.
But if you have what is probably an extra $6 to maybe $8 a month on your insurance, and you get the supplemental underinsured motorists on your policy,
Right.
it's worth $25G.
Wow.
Oh, can I tell? Okay, please, thank you.
Wow.
Well, you guys, I don't know if you know that my wife Bright, she got rear-ended, hit and run,
Yes.
back on July 5th. And so we collected $25,000.
Okay.
How many people knew? And this is one of the things, when we talk about American bikers aim towards education, this is education. Education, insurance, licensing, modifications on a bike. Oh my goodness, and I have to put things in notes, right? Bans, restrictions, one of the things we're going to talk about,
Right.
emission and noise levels.
Right.
We teach you about those things. How many of you guys even know that the real reason that we were fighting and we had been asking people to write their local representatives, emails, letters, when they brought up this loud pipe situation again.
Right.
We won that 12 years ago. And here it is, 12 years later, it's back on the book, and they want to increase the fine and make it a misdemeanor, which would give you jail time.
Right.
30 days.
Right.
Well, I don't know how many people wrote. I really don't. But a lot of people should have written. And because of that, the real reason for it, you ready for this one, guys? Are you really ready for this one? It had to do with operating lawnmowers and blowers, noise levels between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. And it's stuck on us.
Wow. Wow.
The same thing that's sticking on us now. The situation is simply when people remove their catalytic converter, throw the straight pipe in there, you get the little doodad that makes it pop, 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 pop.
Right.
That's aimed at them, but it's also, again, aimed at us.
Yes.
So now when we don't come together as a unified people, 2, 3, 4, 5,000 strong, politicians look at you and say, so what?
Right.
So what? Why do you think people like Eric Adams was interested in us?
Yeah.
Because he knows where that power is. And so he's a smart man.
Right.
He went around to everybody who had an issue and said, what can I do for you?
Right.
Now he's made.
He did. Absolutely. He did.
Okay? So what we're saying to you all is this. If we can do that for all of our politicians in all 5 boroughs, and that's why we're 5 boroughs, because we're trying to reach every politician in every area, because you know politicians get really slick. Let me tell you what I mean by slick. If you live in Brooklyn, and there's a situation in Queens, and you belong to Abate, you can't go talk to that politician in Brooklyn. See, I need to have a constituent
Right.
in Brooklyn to be able to go talk to that politician in our office. So that's why we're 5 boroughs, because we want people in all 5 boroughs. So when we have an issue, we can take that issue to every single borough, to every single representative to say, this is who we are and this is what we want. We are doctors, lawyers,
Teachers.
electricians, teachers, police officers, correctional officers. We run the entire gambit of society,
Yes.
professionalism,
Yes.
mothers, you know, grandmothers, grandfathers. This is who we are. And the fact of the matter is that we need to really stand strong.
Yes.
That's what we need
Yes.
to do.
Wow. I'm going to look at my policy. I'm definitely going to look at my policy. Wow, I didn't know that. I know a lot of people who, even before coming into this community, went down on their bike, and that was it. They had nothing.
Nothing.
They couldn't work. They couldn't get nothing.
Right.
You know, no assistance, no nothing. So that's definitely information that we can share and get around.
And so we have a ton of information like that we actually give during the meetings. Unfortunately, people are not coming to the meetings to get the information.
Right.
And then they ask, what is Abate doing for us?
Right.
Besides having a $4,000 for $30 a year, $30 a year, having a $4,000 death and dismemberment policy.
Right.
Now, if you cut off your pinky, they will give you $2,000.
Okay.
That doesn't have to mean that you have to be riding on your motorcycle. At any point, if you lose a limb, you will get at least half that money. And unfortunately, if you lose your life, whether on a bike or on your car, whatever the case happens to be,
matter. You
then
got
that $4,000 goes to your family.
Wow. Okay. You making me feel guilty that I didn't attend the meeting. You make me wow. And this is so much information that a lot of people don't know.
Don't have, and they don't come out to get it.
Right.
And you know, listen, when and my wife she used to get uptight at this every now and again whenever I got stopped by the police. Right? I used to be New York City Transit Authority. I'm retired.
Okay.
So when the popo pull me over, and I pull out my ID and I hold it up to them, and they say, "Oh, you transit?" I go, "Yeah." They say, "Have a nice day." I don't have to do this. I really don't. I do this because I love my people.
Right.
I want to see my people educated.
Right.
Too often, other people of the light of me, right, have privileges
Right.
that we don't have because we don't know the privileges that we do have,
Right.
and they don't use them.
Right. So how can they become a member
Well,
for
that's
those that are not a member?
Well, that's easy. We have a membership coordinator, LB, who worked with us tirelessly, just like my wife and the other VP here today also. You can contact her, or you can go to abateofnewyork.org, and when the page opens up, it says membership.
Okay.
You go to membership, click on membership, and it will open up. It'll give you the information. You give them your information, and then it'll tell you it's $30. And then there's a drop down part that shows the chapters.
Okay.
For us here in New York City, it's 5 borough chapter.
Okay.
You click on that, you become a member of 5 borough chapter, you pay your $30, and in a couple of weeks, they will send you a patch. They will send you a newsletter. You can have the newsletter either via email, or you can have it come directly to your house, snail mail.
Okay. Is there any way? Because I see you guys sometimes. One event, I saw that you guys too was set up on the side.
Yes.
And I think you guys were selling merchandise, right? Abate
We sell
t-shirts.
t-shirts, yes.
And at that point, would they be able to fill out an application?
Yes.
Can you do it paper, or do it have to be online?
No, it doesn't have to be online. We do that. Elby is normally there with us, and she has the pamphlets.
Okay.
You can fill all the information out, give her your $30, and she'll take care of it.
Some of these events, you don't think that if you guys post up there and take their money, pretty much, like you need to be, you know what I mean? Like, do you think that'll help?
We have finally gotten to the place. Let me tell you something. When we first started doing this, and I think I've been president now about 7, 8 years, somewhere around there. When we first started doing this, people would say, "Listen, don't come to the event talking about no big stuff."
What?
I'm not lying to you. I am not lying to you. I'm telling you the truth. So we would ask certain clubs, when they had an event, can we come and set up a table? And they would say, those that said yeah, we would go and set up the table, and that's what we would actually do. We had t-shirts back then, and that's way back when we were Brooklyn Alliance. And we've done it since then. COVID kind of shut things down.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're
Would you do it more often if the teams would?
We would do it every time we had their teams, all right? And again, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, but their teams that I had been asking, listen, when you guys had church, let us come through.
Yes.
Let us come through and let us make, not the pitch, but let us give you the information that's going to benefit the entire biker community.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Now, I got to say this. I really do have to say it. We work with DOT and NYPD. And there's another group of people. My wife does work, right? Vice President does work. But there's a group of white folks that we work with too.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, this is not just a black bike situation.
Right.
This is all bikers.
Mm-hmm.
And so we work together with them. And I've been trying to get people, my people, our people to come in and do this work with us.
Right.
It's a tedious work. It's almost like banging your head against the wall, but if you bang your head against the wall long enough, you're going to get some results.
Right.
And we have gotten results. Like I said, we can ride in HOV lane.
Mm-hmm.
The policy is set for us. We had tickets expunged. We had done for a number of years. If we want to start back doing it again, we did a pothole initiative, which got the city out fixing potholes. A lot of people were against it, but it put people to work. And it fixed potholes. Right. Especially, when you come out of the winter into the spring, there are tons of potholes, that will destroy bikes and destroy your lives.
Yes.
So there are things like that that we literally have done and are continuing to do. So we have a lot of progress that we've actually made with the Bay, and we just want to make more.
And you touched on it a little bit, but what can you tell me more about the law that was just passed about the exhaust? Right? Didn't the law just pass?
Well, the law passed in Westchester.
Okay.
It has not hit us yet here in New York.
Okay.
But it's actually hit Long Island.
Okay.
So Long Island has it. New York has it.
Yes, I saw something about it on News 12.
Yeah. Westchester has it, and eventually it's going to trickle down to us. It just is. What it is that the loud pipes is already on the books. And these are the things that we told people to write to your local representatives about. Right. Since it's already on the books, we don't need to booster that law. We don't need to make it more. We don't need to have 30-day jail time. We don't need to go from $700 to $1,000 because that's what it is. And that basically says this. They want to use this money, and this is why it's $1,000. They want to outfit every police cruiser with a decimeter.
Okay.
Because I can't give you a ticket for having loud pipes unless I can record how loud the pipes are.
Right.
Let me give you guys a hint on something. In order for them to do that, the law states that they have to be 100 feet away from you, and that decimeter has to read above 95 decibels. See, that's education. Because otherwise, I'm giving you a ticket. Here it is. I'm not gonna write anything on it, and you take it to court, or you just wind up paying it because you don't have time to waste.
Right.
Waste the time. I'm not anybody. Waste the time. Go and fight the tickets. It's the best thing that you could actually do because most of the tickets get thrown out.
Okay.
But let me just say this also. I have this audience on here. Listen, we have been asking for everybody when you get bogus tickets, please get us the tickets. When we go stand before, NYPD and DOT, they have had the opportunity to say to us, well, what's been the outcome?
Right.
How do we know the ticket was bogus? We don't know why they got the ticket because nobody's bringing us tickets.
Okay.
Nobody's bringing us tickets to say these tickets were bogus. And because of that, whenever we want to go into meetings, they say to us, well, we don't know what happened. Tell us what happened. We want to know what happened. So please get us those tickets, get us that information. If you get us that information, what we're going to do is we'll be able to take it back to DOT, back to NYPD and say, listen, here's the problem, here's the situation, what are we going to do about it? And I would like to bring a stack of tickets to them.
Right.
Right now, for the most part, most people are not riding anymore. They've already, packed their bikes up for the winter. But the spring is coming. And I'm telling you, because of this e-bike situation, you're going to see the popo out there in strong numbers and motorcycle-only checkpoints. That's one of the things that we're fighting against now, motorcycle-only checkpoints. It's not that we're against them. Let me just say this, and I got to say this, people. When we say aim towards education, you want to ride safe, you want to ride legal. So this way, if something does happen, you're getting harassed, not for being illegal. It makes every one of us look bad when they stop six bikers. Six bikers have no license, no M-Class endorsement. They have no registration, you understand? It makes all of us look bad. And it makes them, it gives them the ability to say, well, this is why we're doing this.
Right.
Because we want to get these people off the street.
We give them the power.
We give them the power, absolutely. So that's why one of the things we preach is have your papers straight. When we do ride, and we do rides, we want you to have your papers straight. So if you get pulled over, you're good. If you get tickets at that point, then we know the tickets are bogus. We can fight them, we can get them thrown out easily.
Okay. So if your inspection is not, it's off, let's say by like 10 days or something like that, is that something that you guys would try to help us with, or we're just...
Well, if it's off by 10 days, God help you.
They're not trying to hear us.
They're not trying to hear us on that, right.
But like speeding tickets.
Tickets, no, get you a good lawyer.
So what are some of the things that we can bring to you?
Oh, what you can bring to me, like for instance, the cop stops you, like I just said, and says, I'm giving you a ticket for loud pipes.
Okay.
No decimeter.
Loud pipes.
No decimeter? You mean to tell me there's nothing recorded?
Okay.
And so, okay, bring me that ticket. You stop me and you say, well, my signals on the rear or the front of the bike are not within clear parameters. They should be 3.5 inches. I'm giving you a ticket for that. You know what? Your license plate looks kind of funny. I'm giving you a ticket for that.
Okay.
No, if your bike is good, you're legit, your papers are legit, and they give you a ticket for anything that is not, that is bogus. You understand?
Okay.
Bring us that, and once you bring us that, then there's something that we have to fight with. Too often, what we saw, especially pre-COVID, we saw a lot of motorcycles being taken off the street.
Yes.
Right? And we were arguing with them. That's a Harley sitting on there. That's a Kawasaki sitting on there. That's a Cruiser. That's a $20,000 bike. That's a $30,000 bike. Well, we don't know what happened, Rock, because no one's brought us anything. No one said anything to us.
Right.
Those types of situations, we need somebody to say, listen, this was my bike. They took it, whether it was damaged or not. They took it. I had to pay this, that, and the other. We need to go fight for that money back. We do, because they should not have taken it. And if you get to us with that information, we can help you with that.
Okay, that's good.
Now, other than that, also we do have an attorney, at least one attorney that works with us on a regular basis. That's Mitch Fona.
Okay.
If you come to Mitch and your papers are good and you got bogus, Mitch will fight for you 100%.
Okay, that's good to know.
But now, if you're bogus, Mitch gonna tell you which one you do. He tells me all the time. He says, "Rock, listen." He said, I got outlaws who come to me all the time. He said, somebody hit him from the rear, they want to sue. They come see me. Somebody did this, that, or the other. He said, they come see me. He said, I go to court. He said, I get them a lot of money. He said, but where your other people at?
Right.
He said, where are they? He said, they want to call me and tell me I was speeding. I need you to help me. He was speeding. He wanted to shoot for you. I ran the red light. Okay, pay the ticket. Oh, it ain't no good. They didn't work nothing. I'm sorry, that was your fault.
Damn if you do, damn if you don't. Right?
Listen, if I'm nothing, people will tell you I'm real.
Okay.
I'm 100% real. You good, we good, we will fight with you. We'll fight for you.
What about, how do you feel about the little scooters that everybody are riding? Like I'm riding my motorcycle and I'm taking my green light, but then you have the scooter that's running the light, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like
this is one of the reasons that we need to come together as bikers. When I say come together, I mean we need to come together as thousands. Let me tell you what the legislators did. They said, you know, the speed limit has been dropped down to 25 miles an hour. Some places, school crossings is 15, 20 miles an hour, right? And they said, we dropped the speed limit, and so since we dropped the speed limit, these people, because it's not enough CCs or it doesn't go over 25 miles an hour, that they don't need to wear helmets, stupid.
yes.
I'm sorry, you could trip and fall.
Yes.
Forget about riding 20 miles an hour. But as long as you can't go over 25 miles an hour, it's the legislators that said these people don't need to wear helmets.
And it's because they don't know. They have no idea.
No, they do know.
So what do you think? They
See,
just don't.
listen, I'm telling you right now. See, I got the wrong person to do this interview.
No, we got the right one.
Wrong person. See, when you have politicians, when you have policymakers, when you have companies that will pay, or I should say donate to these people's campaigns, to their offices,
Yes.
then what happens, that company gets a pass. And because I'm bringing in this merchandise and I need to sell it to your constituents, so what you need to do is make it easy for them to be able to ride these vehicles.
Right. Right.
And we're going to limit it to anything under 25 miles an hour does not need a helmet. I'm sorry, if you catch a 16-year-old boy on a bike without a helmet, 14, excuse me, you catch a 14-year-old boy on a bike without a helmet, you can give him a ticket. On a bike, pedal bike. Yet I can ride a scooter that goes 35 miles an hour, 40 miles an hour. I got video somebody just sent me recently of a cat, I think it was on the Grand Central Parkway, doing 60 miles
On that
an
little
hour
skateboard
on a stand-up scooter.
Yeah, I saw that. I couldn't believe it.
And from what I understand, there's going to be at least 1,000 more models that are going to come out. I can show you a picture right now of an e-bike, okay, that looks just like a racer. I kid you, it looked like a racer. And I saw this guy down on Jamaica Avenue, and I was getting a pair of shoes or something, and I came out and I saw this e-bike, and I saw it said e-bike, but when I looked at it, it looked like a full-fledged motorcycle.
Right.
No license plate, no registration. The only thing I can tell you about this guy, he had a helmet, he had on body armor and whatnot, he had on boots. So I stopped to talk to him, and I asked him, I said, how much did you pay for that bike? He said, well, I paid $2,500 for it. He said, but you can get them for about $1,500, but you got to wait about 4 months. They come from China. See? So now here it is. That means that the legislators have allowed these vehicles to come into our city, into our country, without any regulations such as would be put on anybody else like us bikers.
Right.
You know?
Right.
I mean, and that's a fact. They say they don't need helmets. Why not? Are you kidding me? How is it they don't need helmets?
Right.
You know? And we know scooters don't belong on the parkway. They don't belong right there.
Yeah, I couldn't believe that.
Okay? But yes, they're on there. You see them all the time.
Can I ask this one question? I'm sorry. Scooters, when they get in accidents, are they classified as motorcycle accidents? I'm asking.
You're asking?
Yes.
Yes.
Because that bumps our numbers up.
That's right.
That is correct.
That's one of the things we've been
Same
fighting
thing
for.
with, same thing with the, what do you call those little cars that they have?
Electric cars?
No, the,
Slingshots and all that?
slingshots. They just removed the slingshots about a year ago
Oh, the slingshots.
from motorcycle category because it got fought by a couple of legislative groups, and that's not a motorcycle. That's another type of vehicle. So now it's considered an auto cycle. That's what they
Auto
did.
These scooters go the wrong way running red lights, going
Yes.
accidents,
Yes.
they classify them as motorcycle accidents.
Yes.
So thereby they're hurting us.
Well, last year we had 51 deaths. Some of those deaths were scooters. Okay? This year, we're doing the same exact thing. Some of those deaths that have occurred already, and the last I heard, we have a meeting coming up, I think on the 20th. Okay, next week. On the 20th, we'll get the new numbers, and the last I heard, we were up to 43 deaths. Okay? Some of them, again, scooters. Some of them also off-road dirt bikes. You know, and those are the situations that we're fighting. But let me just say this to my stunners, all right? Stunners, we literally are working with legislators. If you guys know, Earl was out there, and somebody else was out there with Eric Adams, and a lot of other politicians, and they are really trying to help get a dirt bike park.
Okay.
You know, to give those who want to come and participate and riding a dirt bike. We are really looking toward getting a dirt bike park. Eric Adams called me up. We did a press conference with him and a bunch of other politicians and whatnot. This is what we're trying to do. So we're looking out for bikers. Whether you're a dirt biker, off-road dirt biker, doesn't make a difference to us. We want to see that you are able to do this and enjoy it without being harassed and to do it legally.
Okay.
So that's what we're trying to do.
Okay. So since he was running and he was around and he had that event at Corrupt Mob, you've been in touch with him and he's been working with you to help you?
Yeah, we actually have been in touch with him. That's why we actually did a press conference up in the Bronx
Okay.
to talk about quads, off-road dirt bikes. That was one of the conferences that we had, and we have been in contact with him since then.
Okay.
Matter of fact, we sent him a text, congratulatory text, for becoming the mayor-elect.
Okay.
And so we look forward to working with him. He told us that he was going to work with us and that it would be his police department. And there's a few other things that he said also, and we're waiting to see those things come to pass.
Right. I remember you said that to him that day when he was at Corrupt Mob. He was like, well, we'll see. We will see. And
that's always my attitude when people talk to me, the politicians talk to me and whatnot. And listen, we have some politicians that work with us really well. I got to give a good shout out to people like Leroy Comrie. Leroy Comrie helps the biker community in Queens with every single thing they do. Everything we do, Leroy is always there. Leroy Comrie is always there.
Okay.
So great shout out to him. And there are other politicians that do help us too, but no one as much as Leroy does. I mean, any day you get ready, you call up Leroy, call him up. I had the wrong email. He said, you got the wrong email, Rock. Here's my email, my personal email. You got something to say, you just send it to me.
Okay.
That's just how the man is. And I wish other politicians were just the same way. I mean, we met with others, who've opened their door to us, but yet have done anything to go further.
Okay.
And we're looking for them to go further. So there's some things that we have that we're working on for the spring and the summer of this year to see if we can't touch base with those politicians to continue to work on one, which is congestion pricing. We all know that we're going to get hit with congestion pricing. That's already passed. They're just trying to determine who they want to let go or whatever they want to let go. And we're trying to see if we can get bikers totally exempt. Because I don't know if you guys want to pay $12.50 to go across the bridge into Manhattan.
No.
When we are about congestion pricing. Congestion, and look, 6 motorcycles can park in a single parking space. You understand? With less wear and tear on the road. So why is it that we have to pay?
Right.
Why should we be paying for this when we actually eliminate the congestion in the city?
Okay.
And the reason that they want to actually do this kind of thing or switch over to micromobility, in case you guys don't know, this is why all these e-bikes, all these e-scooters, these stand-up scooters, that's why they're coming to New York City. Because they use them everywhere else outside the world, and they want to bring it here, and so by bringing it here, that's why they're allowing this stuff to happen. That's why they're allowing no helmets, no registration, and all that other nonsense. But like we've been complaining already, listen, bicyclists ride on the same roads that we ride on. They don't pay registration, but we do.
Right.
So where's my registration money going?
Right.
That registration money that's supposed to be going to us for education is not going to us for education.
Right.
We should, and we are looking, this is one of the things that we're trying to do. We're trying to get subsidized money for, and class endorsements.
Okay.
One of the things that we're trying to do.
Okay.
But we cannot do that without every other biker in the city jumping on board with us.
And on that note, what are some things that you want to see from the community that you would like to see from the more of from the community?
I want to see this thing you call brotherhood and sisterhood.
Have mercy. Have mercy.
That's what I want to see. I really do. I want to see us come together as a family. We say we're bikers. We love I'm my brother's keeper. I'm my sister's keeper. That's what I am, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when it comes time to step up for your brother and your sister, I don't see people stepping up the way they should.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah, that's real nice. We got those sayings. Well, you know, no one left behind. Well, stop leaving your brothers and your sisters behind legislatively. Stop leaving us behind. We have 200 members. We got more than 200 clubs
Yes.
in New York City.
Yes.
We have 200 members.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, look, a club like Steel Horses, out of the 200 members, they got almost 40. Where's everybody else?
Yeah.
They need to be still horses.
Steel Horses. You know?
Can I join?
We have 38 members out of 200. That, like, come on now.
So do you think that having a motorcycle club and for the motorcycle clubs that are being formed and new to the community, do you think that every member should be a member or apply for Abate?
I think everybody that rides on tubes
Should. Okay. Gotcha.
Okay? And not just everybody that rides on tubes, your family members should.
Mm-hmm.
Because your family members should be registered to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And they should vote.
Mm-hmm.
They should know who they're voting for.
Right.
So yeah, we want everybody. Everybody over the age of 18, everybody who can register to vote should register and your loved ones are riding motorcycles, then you want to make sure that they ride without being harassed. I mean, who wants to, a couple years back, right? And this is why police don't chase people anymore.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of years back, they were chasing two kids, you know, on a dirt bike, right? And they wound up killing at least one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So now they've been mandated or policy not to chase them.
Okay.
You know, but here it is when you talk about a motorcycle on the checkpoint, and you coming off Queensboro Bridge,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Or you coming off the 3rd Avenue Bridge, and there's some, I hate to say it, but I'm gonna say it anyway. There's some uneducated police officer
Okay.
who does not know the maneuverability, the stopping, the braking of a motorcycle.
Right.
And that fool is gonna step out there almost basically in front of you. You're gonna try to avoid him, or either you're gonna hit him, or you're gonna crash.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Right.
So again, that's something that we've been working toward, and it's so important, you know, for your family members to support you in that. When my wife went down, I was so blessed a couple of weeks back, right? We were visiting with my father-in-law,
Okay.
and she's always been kind of nervous about what Dad thinks, you know, about what her daughter thinks and whatnot. And so Dad sat down at the table with us and he said, listen, if you're thinking about riding again, and you love riding, he said, ride.
Mm-hmm.
He said, because people get killed in car accidents
Mm-hmm.
and so many other different things.
Mm-hmm.
So don't think that because I'm concerned about you, that I don't want you to ride.
Right.
So what I'm saying is this, if you're concerned about your loved ones that ride motorcycles, then support them so that we can do it safely, so that we can do it enjoyably.
Mm-hmm.
Support them so that way the police and the powers that be are not down our backs. We're told, excuse me, DOT and NYPD,
Mm-hmm.
you guys have created a culture of runners.
Mm-hmm.
When you see Popo, you want to run.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Mhm.
Why do you want to run? Even when you're legit, you want to run because you know you might wind up getting bogus tickets.
Right.
Well, I'm hoping that Mayor-elect, when he said this is going to be my police department, and we're not going to put up with that kind of nonsense,
Mhm.
that we're going to discipline police that abuse their authority.
Right.
I'm hoping to see that. Because
Okay.
a lot of abuse of authority happens with police officers in that situation.
Mhm.
And I know they have a tough job, but the fact of the matter is, Don't take it out on me.
Right.
Don't take it out on any biker because you can, and because unfortunately we're not our brother's keeper. We're not our sister's keeper. And so we always ask this question: what is Abate doing for me?
Right.
Well, why are you so selfish? What are you doing for Abate?
Right.
Right? What do you want to do? What do I need you to do for Abate? Join Abate. Get your family members to join Abate.
Get involved.
Let the
So
politicians
when
see
you
who
say
we
our
are.
families, you're saying that they don't necessarily have to ride?
No.
So there was a question.
No, not even necessarily. They don't have to ride.
They don't have to ride.
No.
So there was a social club member from Square Biz, and she was so eager to hear the interview back then because she wanted to know if she could be a member of Abate.
Absolutely.
So the social clubs, the auto clubs can also be a part of Abate.
Anybody 18 years old or older.
My kids can be a part of Abate.
Anybody 18 years or older.
Secretaries and all. Secretaries and all.
Okay. All right. All right.
Abate is for everyone.
And it's $30 a year.
$30 a year.
Okay. Wow, I didn't know. I thought it, was just for people who ride motorcycles. I didn't know.
That's the thing, right? We are a legislative group, which is a lobbying group. But we lobby for, and we say the rights of bikers, but honestly speaking, when you learn what it is that we learn in doing this, you actually fight for the rights of everyone.
Okay.
I had the opportunity to testify, city council.
Girl, get your flower.
City council this year. And one of the things I testified about was this whole situation, because although it's no longer supposed to be in existence, there's still stop and frisk. I got three, well, not teenage anymore. I got one teenage grandson here in New York City, and the other two just turned 21. Okay? These young men get stopped and frisked in East New York.
Yeah.
They do it. My daughter told me they stopped the boys the other day. They did this, they did that. And I'm riding by, and Vita tell you, if I see something, she knows I'm gonna open my mouth. Why? And she say, but I said they got no business rifling through these kids' pockets.
I do the same thing in Nassau County. I lied and told the cop that was my nephew. Like, what do you want with him? What did he do for you to do what you're doing?
So,
I do the same. I can't just pass by.
So in testifying, that's one of the things I told him. I said, I grew up in the 60s and 70s, here in New York City. And the same situation that I grew up under, we're still under the same situation. There's no reason for it.
Right.
Why are we still under those? Because our politicians are not taking care of us the way that they should.
Right.
Why? Because we don't come together.
In numbers.
We have to come together in numbers. So it's not just about motorcycling, it's about your rights in your community, your rights in your neighborhood, how things work, whether or not the doors can be open for a new business or whatever the case happens to be. That's on us.
Right.
And if we don't know, unfortunately, our politicians, who are as dark as we are, or even the lighter as we are, they don't tell us those things because we have to learn them ourselves. Abate is that group that has learned that information, and now we want to bring you that information so that you can know more and do more in your community, and we can all do this together. We need to be unified.
Okay. I like it. I've learned a lot. I did. I've learned a lot. I was trying to get my boyfriend to join, and I didn't have as much information as I needed to convince him.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
I do.
So, thank you. Thank you for the knowledge.
Thank you for the interview.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Definitely. Thank you for the interview.
You're welcome. I mean, this is why I do what I do. What's going on? It's okay? This is why I don't know. I just feel like history. Like we're making history. This video will be shown to people who are coming up behind us.
Great.
Knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
To give those who were before us their pay homage to those that deserve it. So, I mean, knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power, but you have to put it to work.
Yes.
You gotta put it to
When
work.
is the next meeting? When are you guys gonna start the meeting?
Next meeting will be on November 11th, which will be Thursday coming.
Thursday coming with.
Next Thursday. We are going to be right here at Steel Horses.
Okay. All right. November 11th. What time? What day is that? What day
That's
is
a
it?
Thursday.
It's a Thursday night, so it's 8 o'clock.
It's always the second Thursday of the month,
Mm-hmm.
8 p.m. We have a Facebook page, which is 5Borough chapter.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Abate 5Borough chapter. We have a Facebook page and information is on there. For all of our board members, we do have Facebook pages. They post it on their pages also. We post it on Instagram. Seth Black is working with us, so he posts it up also. So we just want to disseminate this information to get as many people out as we possibly can.
Okay.
So we're going to try a hybrid meeting this month. We tried it last month. We weren't so successful with it, but we're going to try it again this month. So what we're going to do is we're going to get people to come here, and then we're going to open up a Zoom at the same time.
Okay.
So that way we can get people in via Zoom and get people in face-to-face.
Okay. Do you want to introduce your members that are here?
Sure.
Come on up, guys.
Oh,
Especially your wife. Love and respect. You know that you had an accident.
yeah.
Prayers were definitely with you.
Absolutely.
I text him and harassed him.
Yes. And so, and let me tell you, for all of you that sent out the cards, the flowers, the fruits,
Come on.
so much stuff just came. It was great.
Select
You
the
know,
other.
the outdoor love was just fantastic. So we have
Can y'all fit behind me?
Bright. Elvis, where are you ready?
Who's she?
Right.
Bye.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Okay, move over, G.
Good. Yeah, we good.
So we have Bright. This is Bright, my wife, Wade. And she is our legislative coordinator, along with, where do you go? Where you run to? Where do you go?
Is that so?
It's outside.
You heard?
Dee is my assistant.
Yes. Okay. The legislative coordinator work together. LB is our membership coordinator.
Okay.
That's what we were talking about. So you can contact her, you can contact me, or you can contact any Abate board member, and we'll give you information. Dee, come out with it. I knew he was trying to run. Have you doing his job last time?
Firehouse up here, boy.
All right. And we have G, who is our vice president. All right. And then we have D, of course, so many of you know him, president of Steel Horses. Right? He is the legislative coordinator number 2. See, I didn't say assistant. This is the number 1, and that's number 2.
Yes.
And so this is some of the team. There are other members, secretary, treasurer, and so forth and so on, PR person. So, and then we have Bronx, Manhattan, Staten Island, and the Queens liaison. So this is our board, and so we do all that we can to make things better for bikers. Why? Because we love it. I'm just like Sugar said. I just felt the need to do this, and that's what I do. I feel the need to do it, and honestly, I feel that it's kind of like a mission.
Right.
And I know you don't think it's corny. It's okay. I honestly believe it's a mission that God has laid on my heart.
Yes.
Otherwise, I'd have quit already.
Who are you telling?
I would have quit.
Who are you
I
telling?
would have quit. As a matter of fact, I had made a vow 2 years ago. That's it.
That it was gonna be
I'm
it,
done.
right?
I'm doing no more. And then I find myself, okay, who's come back with me? And they wouldn't let me leave anyway. They would not let me leave.
One of the members here of Still Horses brought to my attention, and there are a lot of people on here that watch Sugar Cypher, but they don't know what church means. Can you explain that to them? What you look for when it comes to church?
Which church?
Well, not Jesus, not Christian Cultural Center. That's down
That's why I said which church.
for the club. The club, the teams.
What church means is that when clubs have their meeting, they call it church. So that's a meeting, just like we have church meetings. They have church, and that's their meeting. And each club has their own day to have church and talk out, whatever it is they're going to do, whatever plans they have, and business arrangements they do.
Okay, and just to reiterate, that's when you would like the opportunity to come and share Abate
Yes.
and leave information for them.
As a matter of fact, I asked the president of Bratz MC today, which both me and my wife and LV used to be Bratz.
Oh.
Yes.
That was one of my questions. But I mean, the information is so good. You know what I mean? Like I don't even
You
want
just
to pay
gotta
attention
go.
to that. Yeah. But that was one of the questions. Like, were you ever a part of a team, any sort of team?
Well, these two used to be a part of one of the oldest female motorcycle clubs here in New York City.
Okay.
This were the Lady Panthers.
And I've heard of the Lady Panthers.
So,
Wow.
And this was.
And you ride also?
Yes.
Okay.
Everybody here rides.
Okay.
So they used to be part of Lady Panthers. And at one point, myself did actually found a club that was called the Panthers NC.
Okay.
So, but you know, we were a brother club to their sister club.
Okay.
So yeah, and then after that, we all became brats, and so we were brats for a while, and this work got so intense for us that, you know, and then both me and my wife, we love to ride cross country.
Okay.
We do, so I'm looking forward to doing that. I'm retired now, and as soon as she gets some more vacation time, yeah, we bike, you know, we ride. We might be going to, what is that, Detroit?
San Diego.
Okay.
One day.
All right.
Taking donations for the new bike.
Okay. Okay. Go fund me, right?
I'm 25 G, yo.
Y'all are in my business.
Oh God. All right. Thank you so much. We're gonna wrap it up.
All right, thank you.
Is there anything you would like to say? Any of you guys would like to say before we wrap it up?
Everything. I just want to reiterate the importance of people fighting for their own rights.
Okay.
Because nobody's going to fight for you if you don't fight for yourself.
Right.
So that's one of the reasons that people should join Abate,
Mm-hmm.
because we are that platform where people have a voice,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and we have a voice that goes out to many different communities, and it touches many different politicians. It
Okay.
touches many different corners of the city.
Mm-hmm.
But so our tagline is be part of the solution.
Right.
And so the solution is to let us be able to ride free and unharassed and safe,
Mhm.
you know, in our hometowns and
Mhm.
outside our hometowns.
Okay.
Yeah, and like I said, that's one of the reasons that we were literally contacted by DOT. But they've been writing them, other organizations have been writing them also, biker right groups. But because we had a solid number of people, because you know, police, they do research on it.
Mm-hmm.
And from the research,
Yes, they do.
said, you know what, this seems like a viable group, and so they pulled us in, and we've been working with them now going on 4 years.
Good. That's good. Good. Anybody else? Press?
All right.
I know. I know. Again, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for making this time. Thank you for enlightening me.
Yeah.
Now I can preach your gospel, a big gospel. I'm going to get everybody to join my kids. They're 20, 24, 26. I'm going to get them all.
See that lady before you leave.
Okay. I'm going to get them to join. I didn't know. I had no idea. So now the social club, I hope she got the information. She may be watching because she always watch my ciphers. So she may be watching, and I know she got a lot of
Let me
answers.
say this again real quick. So when you do sign up, because a lot of people get confused about this, you sign up, there's going to be somebody who's going to call you. That's
Yes.
from the national, whatever it
National
is,
Insurance Company.
insurance company, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to call you. You do not have to buy anything else unless you want to buy some other.
I did get a phone call.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
And what they want is your beneficiary.
Okay.
So you have to give me your beneficiary.
Okay.
And at that point, and for those of you who have small kids, right? They also have a free package
Mm-hmm.
where you can fingerprint your kid, take the picture of your kid, get hair symbols of the kid. So in
Okay.
case your kid disappears or something,
Mhm.
they have that information on hand that the police can use to help you find the child.
Wow.
And that's free. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So that's what Abate does.
Wow.
Thank
Wow.
you for the interview.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. I enjoyed it. Thank you so much. All right.
He Russell Simmons.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you for joining us tonight, guys. Thank you. And I hope you learned just as much as I did tonight. Don't forget to visit Abate.
We can replay this.